Hi, Debbie. Hopefully. Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Hopefully you can hear me. Hi, Mandy. Hi, Pam. Hi, Katie. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Julia. Catherine. Hi, Sue. Cool, you can hear me. How's everyone doing? Everyone good? I'll just wait a bit longer and see who else is joining in. I was a bit, what's the word? I was a bit distracted. I've got the conservatory windows open and we've got like all sorts of bugs coming in, and I was like, ugh, I hate bugs. Who else hates bugs? Ugh, ugh. But then there is nowhere I would have relaxed knowing they're crawling all over the floor kind of thing. So there I was with a little scrap of paper trying to get them on the scrap piece of paper so I could put them out. But every time I went out to put one bug, another two would come in. It's kind of losing battle, really. But I guess it's cooler in here, so they're trying to get away from the heat outside and into the shade. I don't blame them, but I don't like bugs. They're kind of icky. I know we need them, but they're still icky. They scare me, basically. But hey ho. So now just let them be. And I'm not going to look on the floor, because if I look on the floor, then I'll probably be jumping off this chair and running inside. And we don't want to do that. I mean, I'll probably drop a few billion things along the way to get into the living room. But so no looking on the floor. That's for sure. Oh, is it not warm where you are, Katie? It's pretty warm here. It's nice. Well, I think it's nice. See, I can't decide. Some days I think I like the heat. Other days I'm thinking, no, I don't like it. I want the cold again. I don't know. Today my hand is freezing actually. My hand is really cold. But the rest of me is like really warm. But my hand is, yeah, a bit frozen. Needs to defrost. How do you defrost a hand other than those hand warmer things? I don't know. Anyway, so this is what we're doing today. Like I said last time, we were going to use the netting plate once more because I do love that plate. So I thought we would use that alongside doing some lace work. It was only an idea that was playing while I was prepping the last one, and I thought it would be really nice to try, and I really like those results actually. I was only going to do one, but it didn't quite go as planned, as in one wasn't enough. So then I thought, well, this was the middle bit that fell out of the backing paper here. So obviously, you can't just leave it where it is. You have to make use of it. So I did this one. And then I thought, well, the same sort of design in a card would be nice. So then I went and did a card. And well, yeah, just basically had fun, hence have fun here. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys create with it. Obviously, you don't have to do a tag if you don't want to. You can make it into a card or whatever. Just, use the template, the layout idea, and see where it takes you. And obviously using the plates you have, for example. This will hopefully go onto the Facebook page after it ends, but I'll also upload it on YouTube for anyone who prefers to see it on YouTube as opposed to Facebook. So let's see how it goes. So basically, I'm going to focus on maybe this tag, or maybe this, or I don't know. Let's just see where it goes. I quite like this, the diamond. Is that a diamond? Wow. If I do it this way, facing me, then it becomes a square, right? So it's easier to call it a square. So let's see. And then this one is basically, am I sounding confused? In my head, I'm confused. I mean, I know nothing new there, but yeah, but the words are pretty jumbled in my head. In this one, I just used one section into 4 spaces. Well, the middle section along there, rather than do the full diamonds. I could have, but I think it would have been too crowded. This is quite a small tag, so I just felt that it didn't need as much lace. I mean, I guess it would have looked pretty because it would have been the same size, but I think in my head, that looks a lot smaller, even though it's the same space as in there. So on this one, I tried to keep it to sort of, a bit smaller. And then on the card, I basically, just extended it into a square. Obviously, if you're doing, say, A6 cards, the rectangle cards, are they A6? I think they're A6. Then you would extend them a bit longer, sort of thing. So it's really fit to the size you want. The other thing I mean, that was I'm talking about the netting bit, the netting part of the plate. So that's the netting plate. And you can see you have got options of little individual squares, for 2 by 2 squares, 3 by 3 squares. Your options are limitless on that, which is really nice. The other plate I really like is, and you've probably seen me use this like a billion times now, which is this one. I absolutely love this plate. They do it in a round circle as well, as a circle, which is really pretty, and they have it in the square one. And then there is this one as well. They were sort of released at the same time, and they're both really pretty. I absolutely love this, and the design is so tiny and delicate that even with the smallest of elements you have, you can fit something in to put texture into your Groovi work. So for example, on the card here, on this little grid sections there, the lace grids in those little squares, you can see I've managed to get a little bit from this pattern onto those. So it's really worth thinking about and to invest in, because they're just really pretty. So that's what we're using. The thing I used for inside the squares is the straight pattern border, straight pattern grid one. I can never remember the full name, but it's the straight pattern grid number 1. So I've used this one. There is diagonal number 1, then there is the straight number 2 and diagonal number 2. I'm using the straight one. Once you know how to use it as a basic, all the other border plates, you use them in the same way. The only difference is that you get obviously different designs because the grid design is different each time. So we're going to use that. So let's start, and then I'll come and explain the rest as I go along. So what have I done? I have cut out my tags. I've die cut my tags using the die Remind me, the die. Yeah, the die. I'm looking for another word to follow up die, but it is the die set. The tag die set. So I've used the second largest, which is still in my machine, next to my machine across the room. So I'm not going to get up to get that. So it's the second one and this one. And what I did is one of them, I've got the full one. Yeah, the full second largest. And on the second one, I have got this, I've put both of them together. So pretending, hold on, I should reach out, shouldn't I? But it's right across and I'm not going to. Because if I go across, I know I'm going to see those bugs and I definitely don't want to see those bugs. So let's pretend that this one is still there, which you can see it's not there. And when I put it in the die machine, I put this one and this one at the same time to get my window. Yeah, on this one to get the window. And then I've got one of the second largest cut from my parchment, clear parchment. You can use colored parchment if you wish. That's going to sit there as a sandwich between these two pieces. Yes? So that's how we're going to get the sandwich. You're going to decide whether you want your tag facing this way or whether you want your tag facing that way. With the design I'm doing, it's not going to matter because there's no words on it or anything. It's, you know, whether it's this way or that way. But if you're going to put words or, you know, butterflies or anything like that in there, then yes, beforehand do decide which direction you want your tag facing before you start embossing. Okay, so I'm going to put this. And then the bonus is obviously when you cut out that aperture there, you have this little one left. That's where then this one came in as a sample piece because I had that aperture left. So I just used it to create another one. And it's so cute. I think in the future I may be doing those little ones because I really enjoyed that one. Right, let's put this, the dies out of the way. And let's put this one out of the way. I'm going to bring this in. Now, I want the top one with the aperture because I want to position it over the Groovi, corresponding Groovi plate. So this is the corresponding Groovi plate that goes with the tag. And I'm going to put that there. No, I am not. I'm going to put these two together and I need to make sure it's both facing that way. Yes, because that will be our front and that's going to be the back. And I'm going to position it so that I can see where this, the third tag is before I stick it down. But I know I'm going to struggle with that in a minute because of my sleeves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Groovi tabs on here first, just on the parchment piece before I press it down once I have it in place, because otherwise my sleeve is going to keep coming in the way. So bear with. Okay, there you go. Let's get that again and get it up. And you know, if I'm slightly off, it doesn't matter because I'm going to trim the parchment piece a little bit anyway, so it doesn't sort of, when I'm sticking it all together, I'm not having the parchment kind of sticking out. So you can see there's my window and I want to position it sort of centralish, well, as much as I can in the middle of that. And I think that should do. So, oh, it moved. Don't move, please. And I'm going to press that down. And now I can take that top layer off. Yeah? Did that make sense? Well, I hope it did. So now I know I have my tag in the right position for the window there for when I stick it all together. Well, I hope so anyway. I'll just double check that. I say that and sometimes it goes completely wrong. It would be this way around. Not that it matters. I mean, it's the same all the way around anyway. Yep, that would be fine. Okay, so tumble dryer sheet. I'm going to rub that so the tool glides a bit easier on our parchment. I'm using the Pergamano 1. If you like, you can use your Groovi number 1 tool. And I'm going to emboss. I'm not going to emboss. Am I going to emboss? Shall I not? Shall I do both? You've got options. You can emboss both the outlines like I have done on this one. I've done both the outlines, or you can do just one. It's absolutely up to you. I think I'm just going to do one, and I'm going to do the second one. So the tag has 3. You can see it's got 3. I'm going to do the middle one. I may forget along the way, in which case I will do the second one as well. Okay, I'm turning that round so that it's easier, convenient. And my tape is in the way, so I'm going to move the tape slightly out of the way, around there. And last bit. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to remove that. Remove that. I don't need this plate anymore, so I'm going to move that completely out of the way in a completely bad place, because if you hear a crash, you will know exactly why in a minute. Stay. It's like telling a pet, stay. Like, you know, the plate is going to listen to me and stay. Okay, next you want your netting plate. That wasn't a good place to put my tabs, was it? Okay, so the netting plate and my tag. Now you have to decide, do you want, like, you can get easily 4 individual squares, or like on this one I have got 2 by 2s, which will fit quite easily as well. So it's absolutely up to you. What shall we go with? Shall we go with 4 individual, or shall we go with 2 by 2s? Oh, decisions, decisions, decisions. What do I feel like today? Chocolate. Yes, I feel like chocolate. Although I'm not going to have chocolate. Oh, I don't know. Someone decide for me. Should we go 2 by 2 or should we go 4 individuals? 2 by 2s. Thank you, Carol. 2 by 2s it is. So I'm going to put it approximately. So I'm going to go with this square here and this square there. So I need to position it sort of-ish in the middle-ish. I think that will do-ish. I'm going to stick that there and stick that there. Now, for my circles, I want to emboss those white. And because I want to emboss them white, I am going to do the outline of them with my 1.5 Pergamano. If you're using the Groovi, use the number 2 because I want a softer outline. So I'm going to do my circles first so I don't forget that I want a softer outline for those. Normally when I start with the number 1 tool, I normally forget and then I end up doing the whole thing with the number 1. And then later wonder why I did that. And so I want this diamond and I want this diamond. So I don't want to do these 2 squares up there. So round there. There we go. And then I will do the lines. Oh, missed one. Have I missed any others? No. Okay, so now with the number 1, I will go back and do these white. And the Groovi guard is helping to keep my my parchment down, as well as it's quite a, my hands are, although they're cold, they're feeling pretty icky. So it's sort of keeping the moisture off the parchment. And I can't say off keeping the chocolate off the parchment because I haven't had any today. It's a proud me moment. I'm trying very hard to reduce my chocolate intake. There we go. So we've got the 2x2 as requested by most. So that's what it looks like so far. Yeah. Okay, we're going to replace that with one of these. So on the tag itself, on the originals, I have used this one. So on all the cards I'd done, I'd used this one. But for this one, this time around, I'm going to use this one because I think they're both really pretty. So let's use this one this time. And, you know, have a play and see where you want to position it. Do you want a whole full flower? That's quite a large flower. Do I want almost the whole thing, or do I want smaller elements? You know, so have a play and see what you would like. I think that's about good. Is it? Isn't it? I don't know. Oh, I like this heart. Look, there's a heart here. Do we need a heart? Which way do I want it? Hold on. I want a heart. Definitely, I want this heart. I want that heart. Have I said to you I want the heart? I think I may have mentioned it a few times. There's one here as well. Oh, look, there's one here hiding. Do I want the hiding one? But then I don't get any large flowers. But I like that hiding one. Okay, I'm going to go with the... Can I get 2? I might be able to get 2. I'm being greedy now, aren't I? I'm being really greedy now. Wanting 2. But they're hearts. Why wouldn't I want 2? Look, I've got 3. I've got part 1 here. I've got 1 there and 1 there. I've got 3 hearts. That's so cool. Sorry. So now you decide, do you want to emboss these circles white, or are you going to color them? For me, I'm going to color these, because what I don't want is these embossed circles to sort of have a conflict with these circles, especially because I haven't paid too much attention where I'm placing things. So I don't want any of them to get too close and end up looking like one big blob. So I'm going to stick to coloring, you know, my flower centers. But if you decide you want to emboss your flower centers, then you need to do them with your 1.5 or number 2. I'm going to color them. So I'm going to go ahead and just emboss everything with the number 1. And I like coloring, so I'm going to do coloring. And make sure you don't cross into your previous embossed sections. You want to leave those and just emboss around the rest of the free space. Do you know, I don't know why I am not comfortable. Should I do it this way? Will that help? I don't know. My head's saying I'm not comfortable. Look, my heart. Well, half a heart. But then half is better than none, right? So half is good. Half is good. And I could be here for a while, couldn't I? Maybe I should have, I don't know. I couldn't have done a smaller pattern because the other pattern is even smaller than this, to be honest. Am I going off the page? I don't know if I'm going off the page, off the screen, sorry, not page. I always say page. So, yeah, just talk amongst yourselves. Oh, no, you can't talk amongst yourselves, but you can chat amongst yourselves. Get to know one another. Because I can't look up to see the comments. Otherwise, I for sure am not going to get this done. And I want to read all of them. And did I forget to mention that if anyone clicks links, if anyone writes down, click this link or that link, please don't, if it looks like spammy kind of thing, because once again, I forgot to set up co-hosts. And I wouldn't want anyone to get viruses and stuff in their computers. I really need to make a note every time before going, when I set up the event, to set up co-hosts as well. We've been lucky actually the last few times where we haven't had an issue. But you never know when these issues arise, right? So to be safe, I should really set up co-host. Am I allowed to go quiet? I'm not sure. I ask this every time, don't I? Somehow that question sort of rang a bell in my head, as in you've asked this like 1 billion times before. It's just so relaxing doing something like this. Completely zone out. Sorry. Hay fever season. I don't know how many of you suffer hay fever. I didn't used to. It's only in the last, 2-3 years that it sort of has caught up with me. Otherwise, before that, and coming from Kenya, I didn't even know what hay fever meant. So when we first moved here, every time someone mentioned hay fever, I was like, but I don't see any hay. How'd you get hay fever? Yeah, it took a while to figure out what it meant. And me being me, obviously I didn't want to ask. So, and at that time we didn't have Google. So it wasn't something that I would have looked up. But then as a young person, do you really look up things like that anyway? How many young people look up stuff unless it's something to do with cars or computer games or food, chocolate? So yeah, I didn't used to, and the kids suffered hay fever a lot actually. Their dad, they probably got that from their dad, because he used to get severe hay fever. And anyway, I'm one of those people who believes anything negative my kids feel, it's obviously from the dad. Anything good they've picked up is from me, obviously. They may not agree about everything, but I believe it. So I think I've got most of it there. Do I have? Yep, I think I do. And I'm ready to take that off. Yeah, let's take that off. So there we go. So that's what we have. Isn't that pretty? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss these circles first. I'm going to do the coloring as well first. Am I not? Two ways to color the grid. Now you need to decide which colorway you're going to go for where you're doing your grid work before you decide whether you're going to color first or whether you're going to color afterwards. So if I show you on this one, I haven't colored the grid inside the sections, so I was okay to color the rest of the area first. Because the perforations wouldn't have got in the way. However, on this one, I have colored inside the grids. And if you're going to color inside the little sections, you need to do that before you do your lace work in there, because there is no way you're going to be able to color it neatly in there afterwards. So depending on what you want to do, decide your lace first. Do you want it clear or do you want it colored? If you want it clear, you can color the rest of the design first. If you want it colored, you need to color that first before you do the lace. Yeah? I am going to go with, because on this one I have done clear, let's go with colored this time. In which case, because I'm going to color my grid in there, I'm going to leave the rest of it empty, because then they stand out. If I color the background as well, then it sort of gets a bit lost. I mean, yes, you could use two different colors, in like one color in the grid and one color outside. But for me personally, I like the contrast of just one of the elements colored, either the grid or the background. Yeah, so you decide. Like I said, I'm going to color the background for this one this time, because I've done it the other way on this one. Yeah. So to color the grid, I am going to use pergoliners, B pencils. Now looking at my tag, this is what I have. The colors, these are the colors this is the backing card I have chosen. This is from Antarctica, the designer pad. And it's got blues, it's got purple, it's got pink. I am going to go with, I think, pink, because there's not a lot of pink. There's a lot of blue. I think I want my my grid to be sort of this pinky color. And then the flowers and the hearts, I will see, because those are done with Pergo Colors exclusives, the felt pens. And I'll do those maybe in purple and a little bit of blue. Green will come in for the leaves, although I might keep it sort of blues and pinks and greens, and not green, sorry, I won't put green. I don't know. I'll see. I'll decide. That's the background for the leaves and the flowers later. First, let's get the pink. So I'm using the B pencil. And I'm using this pink because that's a pretty color that will match really nicely with my backing paper. I want some Dorso oil on a sponge. So there's my sponge. A bit of Dorso oil on there. There we go. That's enough because it's very little coloring. I want my blending pen and a nib. I tend to keep, a separate color for all my nibs. And is this brown or is this pink? We will find out. I don't know. It looks brown, but that's okay. A bit of brown is good, right? And whenever I do my coloring, I like to have my light box on, because I can go right up to the white edge outlines. So here's my light wave, and oh, hold on, it's flickering. It's not turned on to the fullest. I'm going to do that. And is that better? Is it still flickering? I've got a lag. Oh, is it still flickering? I hope not. Is it flickering? On my screen it shows flickering. No. There's a lag between what I see on my laptop and what I see on my phone screen. So on the back, so all the coloring, I'm going to do all the coloring on the back. I'm going to color these squares. And you can see I am ever so neat here. Very neat, aren't I? And I'm not worried because one, it's on the back. So even if I overshoot, go onto the white lines on the front, it is not going to show. But also it's not going to look like pencil scribbled all over the back. We're going to blend that and make it all nice and smooth. So anyone who's, you know, joining in sort of new and hasn't seen this before, panic not. It will be fine. I want it nice and bright. So I'm going to put some more color. I mean, how can we have just a little bit of pink? We can't, can we? I mean, if I'm going to put pink, I might as well put lots of pink. Why would I put just a bit, right? Okay, let's see how that goes. Okay, so we've got the color there. And I am going to actually keep the tag down with my Groovi guard, otherwise it's going to move about. It's curling because of the warmth in here. Okay, so here's my oil. Just a dab, just a touch on my blending nib, and little round, well, round and round like the teddy bear will do. Yes, and into the next one. And like I said, you know, if you go over the white, don't worry because we are coloring on the back. So on the front, it will still be white. And this is where it stops blending. It's still very it's looking scratchy now, which means I need to pick up a bit more oil. So it blends smoothly. So if you get too much oil on your blending nib, the color will simply come off and you will just see oil on your work. In which case you want to remove the excess oil on a piece of kitchen towel. If you don't have enough oil, the blending will look scratchy. It won't blend as easily. So just pick up a teeny tiny, just a touch literally on your sponge, more oil onto your nib from your sponge on your never mind, too complicated. Now this had a bit too much oil. I can see oil floating on the top, so I'm just going to use the nib to soak up some of that oil, and at the same time it just blends as well. So there we go. Turn it round and do the other side. So round and round like the teddy bear. And isn't it a pretty color? I like this color. It was B14. You can see I use it a lot. It's gone really tiny. And Clarity sell the pencils individually. So guess what's on my next shopping list? I might actually, while I'm at it, buy a couple of the pencils in that color because I do use it a lot. And it's so nice to have the pencils sold individually as well. Because if you're like me and you use one color particularly a lot, you're going to need to replenish. Replenish, is that the right word? So there we go. Pick up some of that oil. It's not a lot, so it should be okay. All right. And I think we're there. Yeah. So that is the blending, and if I put it on there, you can see that's the front. That's what it looks like on the front, and that's the back. Now if I put that on the actual backing card, because oops, sorry, a bit noisy there. So on the backing card, that's the backing card I was using, and you can see how it still stands out on there. And with the window, everything just blends it really prettily. Yeah. So I'm going to go in and color. No, I'm not going to color. I'm going to first emboss those circles, because I forgot to do that, and I don't want to forget to emboss the circles, which I probably would. And I'm going to emboss the circles over my Pergamano Excellent mat. So I'm going to put that down there and turn it over to the back, and I'm going to emboss those. Now when I emboss circles, I go up and down, across, and then round and round. So I'm using the 1.5. These are pretty tiny circles, so I'm using the 1.5. If you were using the Groovi, maybe try and see what the number 3 feels like. And if you think, you're not comfortable, it feels too large to emboss the little circles, then go to the number 2. So I'm using the Pergamano 1.5. So I'm going to go up and down, across, and round. Up and down, across, and round. So I'm going to do all those that way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my parchment round, and I'm going to emboss over them again. Now in real time, this is real time, but if you were doing it in your own time, for example, you would let the parchment rest and put your second layer of embossing after it's rested a little bit. These are pretty tiny circles, so I'm not going to worry too much. But if you wanted to let it rest, give it at least half an hour maybe before you put in another coat of paint. No, it's not another coat of paint, another embossing layer. That's funny. So I'm going to turn it round and repeat. So I've turned it 180 degrees, and I'm going to repeat over it, and I'm still going up and down and across, and then finishing it off in a circle. If we start off with just embossing in a circle right from the beginning, what we end up with is a little black, not a hole, but like a black dot in the middle where it hasn't embossed. A bit like the polo sweets. I used to have to be really careful not to say polo sweets on TV, because it's a brand name, isn't it? And for me, those black holes always look like polo sweets. So I would just the words just come out of my mouth basically before I think it over. So there we go. So if I turn it around, that's what we have. Yes, nice white dots. I'm going to add a glitter today to this one anyway. So because I think last week I mentioned, shall we add glitter, shall we not? And then I didn't. So I had mentioned that we will definitely add glitter this time. I'm going to go back and finish coloring in those the flowers and the leaves and that kind of thing. And I think I'm not going to put green in it this time. I'm going to stick to maybe a nice blue, a sort of a light blue, and the flowers in maybe purple. And I don't know, the flower scent, I don't know. I should know, but I don't know. So I'm going to use the Pergacolor exclusive pens. They're water-soluble felt pens, and they are ever so pretty. The colors are just absolutely awesome. So I'm going to use a purple. Let's have a purple. So there's my purple. This is number 10. Yes. And I am going to have a blue. This is number 13. And I am going to have this. This one looks purple, but it's sort of like pinky purple, like fuchsia-ish color. And that's really pretty. So I think I'll use that, and then I'll see whether I want more. So I'm going to use that. And once again, I'm going to shift to my light wave. And on the back, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to do my leaves in blue. Yes, I know it's not normal to do leaves in blue, but I'm going to stick to the colors that are on my backing paper. The pens have a thin end and it has a fat end. Yes, thin end, fat end, which are really nice. I'm going to go with the thin end because that is the one I've got used to using. And I'm just going to basically color in there. So on the back, and taking your time with this. Who doesn't like coloring with felt pens? Takes you back to childhood, doesn't it? I should have maybe done the flowers first, so I know what are the flowers and which are the leaves. See, this big are definitely flowers, they're not leaves. So definitely I should not make it blue in a minute. And what I should probably do is do the flowers. Yeah, I'm going to do the flowers first because I don't want it to get lost kind of thing. So that's a flower petal. Oh, isn't that a pretty purple? I like that. Do you think chocolate would taste better if it was this purple color? No, I don't know why I just asked. I have no idea why I asked such a random, silly question. But looking at the color, I'm thinking, I mean, it would definitely be very nice to eat something that's this color, right? Well, no, like aubergines are not nice to eat. Well, I don't think so anyway. So not everything this color would be nice to eat. But I'm sure chocolate would be. I am going to do the hearts, this pink, and this pink goes really nicely with the B14 color, as you can see. They sort of almost match. That's a lighter tone than this, and I usually use the two together because they're just such a nice close combination. Close color, close something. They can be closed. Oh, look, there's 4 hearts. Oh, no, we can't have 4 hearts. We're supposed to have 5. 3 or 5. And I've got 4. I wonder if there's somewhere I can come up with a pretend heart. I didn't look very carefully, did I? I'm going to look for a pretend heart. Sorry, I cannot have 4. That is not going to happen, is it? I cannot have 4. It needs 5. So where can I have a pretend heart? Oh, this will do. Let's pretend there's a heart there. Yeah, that can. No one will know, right, that that wasn't a heart. Sorry, but it needed to be done. I'm going to stick to these roundy flowers as well in purple. And I think that is it. I think everything else is a leaf that we see. And, oh no, that was a leaf. Oh well, guess what? Some leaves are going to be this color as well. I wasn't looking at the felt pen I'm picking up. So I'm going to do random leaves now. I just picked up the color that's closest to me and didn't look. Well, that makes life a lot easier now, because now I don't need to worry about the hearts being this, the hearts being 4 or 5 or something, because my leaves have just gone random colors. So I'll do a few in, I won't do too many in these colors, and then the rest I will keep them blue. So majority will be blue. Make sure this time I'm picking up the blue and not the pink again. It makes sense to, look at your colors before you pick them up and start coloring. But remember this tag that says have fun? So I'm going with that, have fun. And remember this, progress, not perfection. How well did those 2 quotes work out? Those 2 worked out really well for this demo piece, didn't they? Don't want to miss any sort of areas. But not this is the sort of plate that even if you miss out a little leaf somewhere along the way, you're not going to notice it, because it's just so delicate, so pretty. Everything is sort of growing in all sorts of direction, which makes it a very usable, friendly plate, if there is such a thing. These 2 plates are definitely my go-to plates. Seriously, I just absolutely love them. Have I gone off the screen yet? Okay, how are we doing? I think I have got mostly everything there. If there is a few things missing, they're not going to be noticeable. And if I turn that around, that's what that, well, no, you can't see it like that, can you? Look, the pink matches the matte. The pink matches the matte. Isn't that good? So there we go. Yeah, a few random leaves, and you can see when it's random like that, it's not so noticeable, and it wasn't what I was going with, but it is what happened. I'm okay with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the grid that pronunciation didn't come out right, did it? The grid sections, I'm going to do those in there, and I'm going to use this grid to start off with. And you need your border plate mate. So I'm going to bring, and I definitely prefer using the grid with the light wave. So I'm going to put it there, that there. And because I am perforating, we're going to be perforating from the front. I want my super foam, which is the thicker one, the thicker foam. Yeah, this is about 1 centimeter deep. I'm going to put that. I'm going to put the plate mate, the border plate in there, and perforate from the front. And I'm going to need to do one section at a time. So you want to take your time. So say we're starting with this one here. I don't know if I'm in the middle or not of the screen. Let me just wait on the screen to let it catch up, so I can see whether I'm in the middle before I start perforating, so you guys can see it a bit better. You're going to need your 1 needle bold tool. And where did I put my Groovi tabs? Here. Yeah, I think I am in the middle-ish. Okay, so starting with this one here, I'm going to put it so I'm sort of in the middle and sort of straight. To get it straight, I am looking to see this top line here is sort of in line with the edge along here. Now my plate tends to move a little bit in the plate mate, so I've just stuck a little bit of the Groovi tab on the side so it doesn't move about as I'm perforating, and that's about straight. And in the it moved while I was moving other things, so I'm going to get that straight. I'm going to look at the top and see I have got it approximately straight, and stick it down. There we go. Bring in my Groovi guard, and I'm going to perforate. So I'm going to perforate with the bold 1 needle tool over the super foam, and holding the tool upright, I'm going to go into those holes, pushing the needle down as far as it will go. And we're going to do that on all the little sections. Are we going to do that on all the little sections? I'm wondering. I should really stop fiddling, shouldn't I? I'm wondering, we could do those 4 sections, and then in these 2 sections we could just picot cut those sections, or we could do a different pattern in those 2, couldn't we? Let me think about it. Yes, I think we will do a different one in those. What do you think? I think we'll do a different one in those, and those along there will keep the same. Does that sound good? Yeah, let's do that. Seeing that we can, why not? So I'm going to do this one now. Once again, I've sort of positioned it so it's in the middle-ish. Stick it down, make sure I am in the middle-ish. Yeah. And once again perforate with your 1 needle bowl tool. And like I said, this is on the front. All the perforating we do on the front. The picot cutting will be on the front. Most of the coloring, most of the time that we do is on the back. Occasionally, you know, like when we want to do fluffy birds or realistic flowers, then we would color on the front. But for me personally, I do most of my coloring on the back because I just absolutely love the crisp white lines. So I tend to do mine on the back. So once again, just making sure it's sort of straight at the top there, middle in there. And it's really worth taking your time when you're lining up things. And is anyone crafting along at the same time? I forgot to ask earlier. I should have asked earlier because I would have then slowed down. Well, I hope I would have slowed down. I know I always forget. But is anyone crafting at the same time? Because I can slow sort of stop for a few minutes if you wish to catch up, and you know, waffle about. Wow, waffle about waffly things. Oh, quite a few are at the same time. Do I need to slow down a bit, guys? Let me know. Wow, a lot of you are crafting along. Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm always surprised, you know, with how many of you do join in on a Saturday afternoon. And I am so grateful, so thankful to you guys for your support as well. It's a nice feeling. I definitely feel very loved. So thank you. So that's a bit of, and we're doing a bit of grid work. And sorry, let me see. No need to slow down. The pace is fine. Just watching, just watching. I'm good, thanks. Okay, so I will just continue in that case. I think most people are fine with me continuing, trying to, but I don't have any plates. So winging it. I like that, winging bit. Yeah, I do that all the time, trust me. And it works out just okay. Okay, so on these ones, I'm going to do a different grid pattern. And which one? This one, the little tag. The grid pattern I used was this one here. This here, that square there. So that's what I've used. And I'm wondering, do I want to use that or do I want to use this one with the heart? I quite like the one with the heart because the background, because it has hearts, I think it would work, but it might be a bit small. So I'm going to have a look and see whether it fits nicely. I want my hearts to face towards the center on both sides. So I'm going to take the plate off and I'm going to turn it around. So my hearts are facing the right way. That is, if I go ahead with the hearts. I'll see what it feels like in there. So this is a heart I quite like. And if I put my tag on it, how much space is there? I'm going to see. Hold on. I think that would work. I could get this cross here. I could get those crosses there, a slot there, and the heart there by the look of it. And I think that would work really well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the heart. And I want to sort of, I don't know, am I going to get a row of dots along in there? So I need to position it so that I can get some white work, because with grid work, it is a combination of the cut work we will do as well as the white in there that we will, the white dots we will put in there that makes it look like lace work. So it's always a good idea to have both. Although we can use the plates individually, you know, either to perforate and picot cut or to just emboss. But to make it look like lace, it is a combination of both. And talking about grid work, my May workshop is grid work, traditional counted grid work. So if anyone wants to join in for that, message me or email me on, that's not in the middle. And I'm trying to get it in the middle. And the reason it's not in the middle is because this is a slot of 3. So I'm not going to use that square at the top, because it's not going to fit, basically, because the square is just in the wrong place. So I'm just going to use the heart, and I think I'm going to be able to turn it over. And you don't do this yet, please, because I haven't tried it. I'm winging it. I'm trying to sort of, do you see, I'm really fiddling with it to get it straight, because it makes such a difference when you take your time to get things straight and even. And okay, so don't do this. If you're thinking of the heart, please don't do it yet, because I don't know what I'm planning in my head is going to work out or not. So I want to do the whole one section, which is the crosses, the slots, and this heart. And like I said, I'm not sure whether I can get, let me take that off. And I want to turn it around, and I want to see if I can get another heart in there. Where's my hearts gone? So it should felt like sort of, oh look, we can get another heart in there. Isn't life good when it works out? Well, of course life would be good when it works out, because life wouldn't be good if it, oh, that's not a one needle tool, that's an embossing tool. And can you see I can get one heart coming this way? There we go. That's a pretty pattern. Yay! Look, how pretty is that? So we're going to have 2 hearts, and then you'll have 2 hearts there as well. So we're going to repeat that now. This one was a lot simpler, to be honest. But it's good to push ourselves, right? We all need to learn new things as we grow. Uh-oh, that moved. So let's get it straight again. Seriously, sleeves can be so annoying. Hold on. And also, it's really bright in this room. So it's making it harder for me to see, even with the light wave on. I need to figure out some way to, you know, most people want more light in their rooms. I want to figure out how to reduce the light in the room, because then I know I can see through the light wave a lot better. So again, I have done that, and I'm going to turn it around and repeat. Whoops, I'm almost ripped that. And where's the heart gone? There we go. Yeah, just talk amongst yourselves, because I've just made this a lot more complicated, especially if you're new to grid work, or if you haven't used these grids, then I'm really sorry. But what you can do is you can do the same pattern on all of them. Well, a bit late now if you're following me, but on the next one you can do the same pattern. Is there a front and back to plain parchment? No, there isn't, Wendy. Not on the plain parchment. So yes, I'm doing, in my May workshop, I'm doing traditional counted grid work. And that should be fun, because we are going to be doing little samplers with, well, I don't think we'll get through 8 grid work patterns that I have. But even if we get through, hopefully 5 or 6, I'll be happy. And once you know how to, it's easy enough to do the others. But it's just samplers we're going to do. So they're always fun to do. And of course, you can mount the samplers on bigger cards if you so wish. But I love doing little parchlets. I think they're just so much fun. And great size to practice on, right? So I have got 8 patterns prepared for the grid work. But you also get a bonus PDF with a full-size card, which uses 4 of the grid patterns we will do in the samplers. And I will show it to you guys as soon as I finish this. How are we doing for time? I can't see the time anywhere. No, I'm going to do coming towards the center first. Are you bored yet? Watching me fiddle? And I think that should be okay. Now I've moved it. Ugh. Sorry guys, bear with. Thank you, Mandy. 310. Okay, I've got time to fiddle with this positioning thing, don't I? It's because, you know, it moves. Every time I move my hand out of the way, it moves slightly. Okay, finally there. I can't believe the heart pattern fits so nicely in this square. And you know, if you're going to do this later, then it's definitely worth having a play on a scrap piece of paper first and see how you get on with it. And if you like it, then go ahead and do it on the main piece. When I designed these border grids, there's books as well that go alongside them with patterns in on how you can use the borders. There's 3 design ideas per border in the books. So there is a beginner book and there is a intermediate advanced book. So 2 books for the straight number 1. There's 2 books for the diagonal number 1 out there on the Clarity website. So if, you know, after you have a little play here and you think it's something you've really enjoyed, then look into the books, because you've got full examples as well in there on how you can do lots of different things with these. Okay, so I've got all the design in those squares. Now you can see that's just the perforations. Now to bring these designs really out, we need to emboss between our perforations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this grid border for the straight bold, the straight basic border plate. If you don't have the border version, you can use your A5 or you can use your A4. If you have the A4, use that as long as it's the bold one. Yes. The other thing I need, and I have no idea where I put it, is some pins just to help me line up my holes on it. So now, because I'm going to emboss around the holes, I'm going to do the embossing on the back, and I've got a couple of pins here. And once again, when I emboss, I'm going to emboss when I emboss, I'm going to emboss on the back, but there was something else I was going to say. What was I going to say? I'm going to emboss on the back. Oh, I'm going to emboss on the back 1 square at a time and then move it along like we have been. I store my pins with my blending nibs. So do I. It's just easier to find them that way rather than keeping them somewhere else, and then I just won't be able to find them. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. And, you know, the pins help me line up my work basically in the grid. So I will put one there and line it up. Put one maybe there. No, that's not in line because it's not going in. So I need to, is that straight? Is it straight? Yep, that's straight. And now I can stick that down. It just helps the lining. I mean, these are little tiny areas. They're not going to matter. Yes, but if you were doing a sort of long area, the pins really help with lining up, because you can then put one on one end of your work and the other on the other end. If, for example, if you're doing a border, on the other end of the border to line it up. But these are really tiny spaces, so it's not going to really matter. I'm going to emboss around it, and I'm going to emboss with the Pergamano 1.5. If you're using the Groovi, use the number 2. And so I'm going to emboss in there first. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I've got some space there. I've got some space there. I can get one there. I think I can get 3 here. Yeah, I can get about 3 there, 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 there. Can I get anything else? I can't see if I can get anything else. Basically, you want to fill in the rest of the area. I think, can I get one there? It's a little hard to see with this sun. I'm trying to create a shadow for me. I think I can get one there. So you want to, I mean, with perforating, it's a case of, you know, you don't want to go onto the white line. Your white outlines, you don't want to break those white outlines. The same applies to when you're embossing. You want to try and avoid the white outline. But even if you emboss, you know, a little bit onto the white outline, to be honest, it's not going to matter because it's embossing over embossing. but it will matter when you're perforating. So, you know, it's best when you're perforating to avoid, if you think you're going to go onto the line, then don't perforate, just skip it, because it breaks the outline, which, you know, one break won't matter, but if you have a few, it will look messy. So sorry, I know I'm probably like, you probably can't see either with me putting my hand over it, but I can't see at all. And I'm wondering if maybe because it's so bright, I might be better without the light wave. Oh, that's going on the line. Nope, can't get it there. Bit there, bit there. I'm going to try with the black mat underneath and see if that will help me a bit more, because I'm really struggling to see. So I'm going to try that and see how that works. Oh no, gosh, that I can't see at all. Nope, it was definitely better with the light wave. So sorry about this, guys. I think I can get one there. Where is it gone? Yep. And then next one. I think I'm going to need to change where I sit in the summer to a different room, which doesn't have so much light coming through from the top. But I like the light in here. But it's not very good for this sort of thing. And the only place I can think of is in my son's room, where I can move to. But it's a typical boyish room. It's all, well, boy. I don't think I want to sit in there and craft somehow. I could go in there, and because he's back at uni, I could turn it into a girly room. And can you imagine when he comes back and he sees his room converted to a girly room? That could be quite funny. I think I would find that very amusing, actually. He may not, but I will find it amusing. Because at the moment, the way it is, it's definitely not very inspiring in there. So it would need renovation. You know, a few pink things, a few butterflies off the ceiling, some glitter. Wouldn't that be good? Can you guys hear the wind chimes? Don't know if you can hear the wind chime. It's just such a nice sound. Oops, that went out. Never mind. Can I get a bit there? No, can't get another bit there. Can you hear the wind chimes? You can get Velux blind. They work really well. It's not like a window. It's what you call those triangular things at the top, sunroof thing. I don't know what they're called. But I know in the Zoom meeting when we were talking about this, because it was sunny then as well when we had the workshop, and someone mentioned the umbrella thingamajig. Umbrella thingamajig. That you put outside in the gardens in summertime. But I would have no, because this room it has got a lot of tables, and I have no idea where I would, a skylight. Skylight? Yeah, but it's not flat skylight. It's like triangular shape at the top, like pyramid kind of shape at the top. So I'm doing the same in this bit here. I don't need to emboss in where the hearts are inside, because I'm going to cut those hearts out. But if you're not sure where your hearts are, if you've done hearts, if you're crafting along and you've done hearts, you can put them in. There's no harm in it, because they'll just fall out basically. So it's up to you. Yeah, like I just did. And it might be easier to put them in at this point for me, because I really cannot see a thing. You know, all winter I was waiting for the sun to come out. Now the sun is out. I'm whinging, aren't I, about the sun being out. Yes, like an orangery. Is that how you say it? Skylight. Yeah, it's one of those. So I don't know how I would... Yeah, a parasol, Carol. That's what I was thinking. But then where would I put a parasol in this conservatory where there's tables everywhere? But yeah, the skylight is one of those orange... How do you say it? Orangery? Orangery? Orange? Why would they call it something with the word orange in it? Because now I want an orange. I mean, I know it's a bit of a random thing for me to say, but then you're probably used to me saying random stuff anyway. I'm wondering... And I think that should do it. Those are hearts, so I don't need to go in there. You can always come back. If I've missed a dot, put in another dot afterwards. It's not a big deal. So if I do miss any, I'm not going to stress over it at the moment. When I start cutting between those sections, I will know if I've missed any, and before I do the picot cutting, I'll put the dot in then. So this is so much fun, guys. I feel so bad for you. I can't believe I'm doing this. Doesn't come across as very professional, does it? Yeah, but professional and me just do not go hand in hand, to be honest. Too much effort. I'm here to enjoy this process. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't be professional and enjoy it, but I can't. I can't do two things at the same time. And I'm going to turn that round. And last one. Oopsie. Daisy, come back, my pen. I need you. Oh, some suggestions there. I will read them afterwards and look on Amazon and places on what I can do to fix this problem. I mean, after we spoke on that workshop, you know, when someone mentioned the parasol thing, I was thinking, you know, how about one of my mom's saris to hang off there? Wouldn't that look pretty? But I wouldn't know how you would hang a sari off the orange skyline thingamajig. I can't say orangery. I'm just going to call it a orange skylight thingamajig. As long as you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm all fine with it. But wouldn't mom's sari off the ceiling look really nice? I mean, she's got a few, and she doesn't wear them anymore. So I might as well use them. Okay, let's see how that is. There you go. I think that should be okay. And as I'm cutting it out, and I think, you know, it could do with some more somewhere, I will put a dot here and a dot there. Yes, but for the moment I am going to, it's not very central, my perforations, because I am struggling to see. So my perforations are not very central, but you know, by the time we put all the other stuff on it, we've put everything on it. By the time we picot cut and, you know, mount it and layer it and all that kind of stuff, it really doesn't matter. It won't show that it's not very central, if you see what I mean. So I'm not going to get too worked up over it, mine not being very central. But I know it probably sounds like I'm making an excuse, but I really couldn't see, honest. I am going to actually... I'm going to show you the hearts first. The hearts have got diagonals, and whenever people are doing picot cutting, they do struggle with cutting anything that's diagonal, because the space between diagonal holes is always more than the space between two straights. Yes, so let me do the hearts first, only because I think, you know, it'll be worth doing those first, and then focusing on getting all the straights done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dot out basically so the heart is in this, and then I've forgotten 1, 2, 1, 2, and then is it 3 down, 3 diagonal. So one will be in the center there somewhere, and one will be there, and one will be there. Okay. So we have, that's heart, which is the one here, for example, one of those there. Yeah, that teeny tiny heart. So when we're cutting anything with a you know, hearts or any of the lace patterns that have diagonal picot cuts, we always do those first and then come back to do wherever there is a straight. So for example, that's not very right. No, I'm going to draw my heart again. I got my heart wrong. We can't have that. I'm being fussy, yes. It would have been fine, but no, I've got to get it right. Because it's a straight there, it's a straight there, it's a straight there, and then it's a diagonal along those two. Yeah, that's what the shape is. It's not like this one. So when we have that, we want to do our diagonals first. So first, you're going to picot cut these two with your scissors over the waist. This is the waist. So you're going to go picot cut that between those two diagonals. You're going to picot cut between these two diagonals. Yes? You're going to turn it round, and you're going to picot cut between these two diagonals and these two. And you're going to picot cut between, this one and this one. That's my drawing, which is pretty rubbish. Those are your diagonals. And then you're left with the straights, which you would do last. Okay, and that's going to fall out, and you're going to be left with a cute little heart. I'm going to use scissors because that's what I get on with. I'm using the exclusives. You can use your pergo cutters if you wish, or your ring lock scissors. At the moment, because of the arthritis in my fingers, my exclusive scissors is what's working for me. So I'm going to go with that. So like I said, I'm going to do, and I'm wondering, can I bring it a little bit higher so you guys can see a bit better? I'm going to layer my mats so you can see, just to bring the work a little bit higher. I hope it will make a difference. Does that make a difference? Is that a little bit higher? Or does it need one more higher? The thing is, I think if I go too high, it might be blurry. I don't know, because the focus will go on to my fingers, which is not nice because my fingers are pretty dry and icky and yeah, horrible. The skin is pretty So that's about as high as I'm going to dare go, basically. So I'm going to perforate, I'm going to picot cut my diagonals. So focusing on this heart here first, yes, I'm going to cut this diagonal first. My scissors are going to sit over the waist here, yeah? And when I open my scissors, I can see where my V is, and I need to make sure that that V is where I want it between the perforations. So I'm going to put just the tips into the between the two holes, and as I'm going to close it, I'm going to twist ever so slightly to my, well, for me, to my left, because that's what I'm comfortable with. But you may find you don't need to twist. So you'll have to practice and see whether twisting works for you or if it doesn't. So I've got the one diagonal there. So I'm going to turn it round and do the opposite there. So in there, and as I'm closing my scissors, I'm going to twist it slightly to the left. So I've got my second diagonal there somewhere. I don't know where I am on the screen, to be honest. I'm trying to show you, but I have no idea where I am. Can I find it? Where am I? Oh yeah, okay, can see it. And then I'm going to do these diagonals. So this one here, and this one here. Turn it round. And this one here, and this one here. And then I can follow it round and do the straights. So that one wasn't done, this one wasn't done, this one, and this one. And there you go. Yes, and you've got a nicer heart that's fallen out, to be honest. There you go, that's a nicer heart, but it's lost all the picots, so it's no good to us. So again, to repeat on this heart, my waist is this bit here. That's what's going to fall out. So in there, just the tips and a teeny tiny twist. Turn it round to the opposite. And do these diagonals. And then the straights. Which mat is this? Black is the Pico foam. Yeah, this mat is the Pico foam. And there you go, that's what you have. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the slots there as well and the crosses. So now in this my waist is this little sections in there that are going to fall out. So here's my V on my scissors, and I need to make sure that that's where the V's, scissors over the waist, just the tips into the holes, and a teeny tiny twist towards, well, mine's towards the left, but it's ever so tiny. And I'm doing all the ones that go in the same direction at the same time. Then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to perforate, no, picot cut these, turn it round, turn it round, and there we go. That's the whole section there. Yeah, there's a bit that hasn't fallen off. Oh, it has. It looks like it hasn't fallen off. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all those at the moment first. So I'm going to, because they're all sort of in the same direction, I'm going to do all the ones that go in the same direction. You may want to do individual ones if you wish, for especially for the hearts, so you know where your diagonals are if you're not used to this. So I'm doing these two hearts first. So like I said, slow down, do one section at a time if you need to, one heart at a time, but do the diagonals first. There we go. And the other side of the heart. They are such cute hearts. I do like that. I'm glad I used that this time round. I did want to keep it simple, honest. I did try. Sometimes my mind goes a bit faster than, no, sometimes I think things too fast without thinking it completely through, slow down and think it through to the end result might be. I'm usually, by that time, it's a bit too late to change my mind. But think of it as a challenge, okay? Or just leave it out. There we go. I mean, no, I'll show you. Although I've done hearts, you know, on this one I can show you. So for example, in here, I have left windows as well. And I think that looks really pretty as well. So you may decide that you may want to do a row with grids and have those as just windows. There is so many options to this netting plate. It's such a pretty plate. So I'm doing the squares and the slots now with my scissors always over the waist. I like to hold my scissors with the curve up, but if you're just new to picot cutting, or you know, not seen it before, it's something you're going to have to play with and see whether you prefer the curve coming up like I have mine, or whether you prefer the curve going down this way. It's something that, yeah, you need to play and see what's more comfortable for you. Like, you know, some people like to twist when they're cutting and others prefer not to. There's so many different ways, and it's just a case of having a play and seeing what works for you. I really fancy an orange now. You know what's on my bucket list, wish list, not bucket list, well, I guess you could call it that, is I've never been to an orange orchard. Is it called an orange orchard, or is it called something else? Is it an apple orchard? Orange orchard? I don't know. But oh my gosh, I can just imagine the smell oops, wrong one. Must be so good. I mean, I don't know if anyone has been to an orange orchard, and I don't know if you'd be able to tell me, does it smell of oranges? Or do oranges just smell of oranges when you cut them or get really close to them? I don't know. But I would love to go to an orange orchard. I don't even know if it's the word is or orchard. But oh my gosh, yeah. One day, one day. So I'm doing the middle section because those are just straights. And then I'll come back and do the bit things in the middle. The bit things in the middle. Technical terms used. Okay. And you can see that so far. I really like that. That's such a pretty pattern. Okay, I'm going to do these, and we're going to do exactly the same as before. So I'll show you on one, and then I'll zip through fast over the rest. Yes, so let's take this individual one. My waist is going to be the bit again that falls out in the middle there. My scissors are going to go into the top holes along there with them over the bit that's going to fall out. So there's my V, taking that V down to there, just the tips, and into the holes, and a slight twist towards my left, and after that always towards the previous cut. Turn it round, and oopsie daisy, that. Turn it round, and turn it round, and there we go. Well, there we go. So you've got one slot. So we're going to do exactly the same on the other sections, and I can do all the top ones. Again, my waist are the middle bits, so I can do all the top holes at the same time. Turn it round. Oh, forgot where I was. And this should fall out now, the fourth side. There we go. So that is a slightly different design to the hearts one. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do that on the rest of the three boxes. And I'm going to do all of them sort of in the direction at the same time. And generally speaking, when you're doing any picot cutting, once you get used to, you know, what you're cutting, you will do all of the ones that go in the same direction at the same sort of time before turning your parchment, because it sort of makes it just that much little bit quicker. And also, you're not handling your parchment too much. You're not turning it sort of at every single cut, which is always a good thing, because, you know, parchment tends to warp and things quite a bit, especially in the summer and in humidity and all sorts of those sort of conditions. So it's best not to handle it too much. Do you know what I forgot to do is I forgot to color my flower centers. I just realized my flower centers aren't colored. Mind you, there's only one flower center that needs coloring. I don't have any other flower centers. But suddenly I could see that. Oh, and I want to go for a skydive. I really want to go for a skydive. I'm petrified of heights. I won't climb even on a step stool in the house because I'm that scared of heights. But I want to go for a skydive. That would be so cool. Oh, and I get airsick, by the way. So probably not a good combination. But I just think that would be so cool. One day. There we go. All the cut work done on that one. And I am going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to turn that round because I noticed I haven't now. I'm not going to color my thing in the middle. I just make it blue. It's just a tiny dot, but it will annoy me if I don't. So that's our lace work. And where's my backing paper now? Under all this stuff is my backing paper. So if I put that on there to show you, can see it's all going to come together like this. But I've still got glitter to do, so I'm going to do the glitter first before I stick it down. Now, when I do glitter for my work, I usually add the glitter before I stick my project onto the main card. Some people prefer to do their glitter completely at the end, after they've stuck it onto their main card. It is personal preference. I prefer to do it first because normally I find that when I've sprinkled glitter at the end, what happens is that the glitter gets trapped inside, it goes through the perforations and, gets stuck between the card and the perforations. And then I'm I am shaking the card constantly to get all that glitter out, and I find that really frustrating. So for that reason, I don't like adding the glitter right at the end after I've stuck my parchment piece onto the main card. I'll put the glitter and then I will stick it to the main piece on my card. But like I said, it's personal preference, so it's absolutely up to you when you add your glitter to your work. So I'm using sticky ink. Yes, Pergamano sticky ink. And I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave it there. Otherwise, I know I'm going to spill it. And a mapping pen. So your mapping pen comes like this. And what you do is you take it out, you turn it over, and you put the nib back into the holder. Just a bit sticky there, so I'm just going to take that extra off. And I'm going to dip the pen into my sticky ink there. And to show you, oh no, it's not going to go with the phone so low. Where is it? So I'll show you how much you need. You don't need a lot, to be honest. I'm going to put about that much. Yes, you don't need a lot. And I am going to add glitter. Well, maybe get the pen working first would help, wouldn't it? My pen's not working. It's probably, why is my pen not working? Hold on, bear with me. So if you don't have sticky ink and mapping pen, what you can instead use as well is the Sakura Quickie glue pen. There we go. So I'm going to put it on my circles here. But the advantage of using a mapping pen and the sticky ink is that you can get really fine lines with this this way, whereas with the Sakura glue pen, it's great for, you know, things like circles. It's not a problem. But if you want anything finer, then it's too thick. If you have a look at, for example, Linda's work, when she puts glitter, it is ever so delicate. It is so pretty, you know, and that's what you can achieve using a mapping pen and the sticky ink. Do I want glitter anywhere else? Do I? Yes, I do. How about on the hearts? I'm going to just add some. I'm just going to color it in basically. And what you do is you wait for it to go clear and then you add your glitter on. So I'm doing this on the front. Yes, because if the glitter goes on, if you put the glitter on the back, it's not going to come through. It's not going to show through. So you need to put the glitter on the front. Pink sparkly hearts. Life just got even better. That was a bit too much. You can see it puddles. And you don't really want it to puddle, but I was sort of thinking pink sparkly hearts and I wasn't concentrating. And this here. And like I said, we can't have 4. So the one I made up is going to be my 5th one here. This little teeny tiny thing. But there was nowhere else where I could, it's not working, this little blob at the end of my glue thing. Now to clean the nib, well, I don't, but if you wanted to clean the nib, you can do it with a baby wipe if you wish, or you know, you can clean it with a water. But if you do use water to clean your nibs, then don't put them back into the holder straight away. Let the nib completely dry out before you put it back in the holder. Otherwise, it can rust. So avoid that. But like I said, I don't generally tend to clean my nib. What I do is next time I'm going to use it, I simply pull off the extra that's stuck onto it, you know, just pull it off, a bit like when glue dries on your fingers and you're peeling it off. That's what I do. It's tacky, but you can get most of it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some glitter, and I'm using Purga glitter. So if you've not seen the Purga glitter, it's like this. It's six containers. In there, there's a hint of blue, hint of pink, hint of green, hint of silver, hint of copper, and hint of gold. Guess which one I'm going to go with? I bet no one can guess which one I'm going to go with. Well, I might as well tell you. Obviously, it's the pink one. So sprinkle that. The nice thing, if you're not into glitter because you don't like how it gets everywhere, then Purga glitter is anti-static. So when you shake off the excess. Most of it will come off, and it's not going to cling to absolutely everything in the area, because it's anti-static. For me, I absolutely love glitter, so I don't mind the fact that, you know, my previous glitter that I used to use used to go absolutely everywhere because it just stuck to everything. And I normally would go to school to pick up the kids looking like a Christmas tree, you know, a very sparkly Christmas tree. And I used to love the days when I had an accident with glitter and, you know, more of it went on me instead of on my work, instead of on my project. Because I just walked around everywhere, sprinkling fairy dust all around me. That's a good thing, right? Okay. So that's all the glitter I need. So that's going to go over that, and that's going to go over that. But what I'm going to do is, before I do that, I am going to trim off some of the extra on this, only because I don't want it to stick out of my tag in case I don't get the lining straight, because then that's going to make it look messy. So I'm just going to take off some of the extra. There we go. And maybe some, should I take off that? Yeah, otherwise that will, do you know what? I am going to actually just take that hole off as well, because if the hole doesn't match up, my lining up is pretty rubbish. So if that doesn't match up, that's going to show as well. Now, if I stick this here, I don't know where my center is anymore. Yes, because of the trimming I've done. So instead, I'm going to stick it on this one first, because I've already got a window there. So I know where to position it to stick it down like this. Okay. And I'm going to use the Clarity tape runner. And I am going to move this because now I might be a bit too high. Oh no, I can't see. The sun is shining right there. I'm hoping you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to use the tape runner pen, and I am going to put some tape along. Oh, it's not very straight because I cannot see a single thing. Sorry, I've probably come off the screen, but that's the only place I can see. And I don't even need to go everywhere, to be honest. I don't know why I'm trying to go everywhere, because it's just to hold the parchment down for the moment. I don't need to go, oopsie daisy, all the way. And I'm going to just bring in where I've gone off the edge. I'm just going to make sure there is no tape sticking out, because I didn't go very straight. So just make sure it's all within the space, and putting it the right way around. I am going to, can you guys see? I'm not going to move. Should I move? Because the sun's, I don't think it's going to help. Sorry. Sorry. Shaking everything. I'm just trying to make it better so you can see, but I don't think nothing's going to work, to be honest, is it? Okay, I give up. Right, take your time lining it up, and that's not very central. And again, this is something I do usually standing up, because it's easier to line up things, you know, when I'm standing. That will do. Bit more space at the top there than down there, but that's okay. I am not going to stress over it too much. And oopsie daisy, come back, pin. I can't afford to lose you. I like you. Okay, can you see it sticking out there? So I'm going to trim that off. Not the tag, hopefully. There we go. Yeah. Okay. and nowhere else is sticking out. Now I'm going to take this, and do you know what? I cannot see. I can absolutely not see where I'm going. So I am going to use instead double-sided sticky tape, but I don't know if I have thin enough double-sided sticky tape. No, I don't. My double-sided sticky tape is too thick. So we're back to square one. Oh, making sure I don't go on the parchment, because if I go on the parchment, it may show through. Next time I'm going to check the weather, and if it says sunny, we won't do a Facebook Live. Is that allowed? Because this is like, it's pretty ridiculous now. I feel really bad. I'm sort of, you know, something that's so simple, I'm kind of messing it up. Now, okay, you're probably seeing me struggle with this tape pen, but to be honest, it's not the tape pen, it's me, and I'm trying to work it at a really odd angle because I can't see. I absolutely love this tape pen. It is the best tape pen I have ever come across, but it's not working because of the angle I am at. It's got nothing to do with the tape pen itself. So I'm sorry for making that look pretty bad. And again, you know, because I know I couldn't see where I was going, it's come off on the sides, and I don't want that to be sticky on the edges. So I'm just, you know, just pulling it towards the inside of the card. And then I am going to, no, I am not going to, I'm going to do it this way. And before it's still sticky on the edge here, and you'll feel it, you know, if you've gone over the sides, you will feel it on the edge where it's sticky. So just roll it back into itself. Okay. And line it up before I stick it down. There we go. And there we go. Phew, that was hard work putting that on. And the last bit is to put your ribbon. I've got some raffia. Is that what it's called? And I'm just going to... Oh, come on. And tie a knot. No, come back. No, it's not going to work. It's too fiddly. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to do it on my lap over here. I'm just tying a knot basically, but I can't do it at that angle. So I'm still here, although you just see a screen. Better still, instead of seeing a screen, here, have a look at these pretty samplers. This is what we're doing. Counted grid work. For my May workshop. If anyone is interested, message me. So have a look at that instead of, you know, a blank screen as it was, while I struggle with tying a knot. And I'm going quiet because I am concentrating on tying a simple knot. How can tying a knot be so difficult? Seriously. Wow. It's just, I guess because there's so many strands of the raffia. One keeps escaping. Should probably remove a few, and that will make it easier, won't it? Done. Okay. Let's move this out of the way. There you go. Yeah. Oh. Can you see if I do that? Is that better? Can you see that now? Or have I covered the camera completely? I can't tell at the moment if I've covered the camera completely. Let it catch up and I'll be able to... Oh, you can see that. I've put the embossing mat... This is really funny. I've put the embossing mat against the phone. So there we go. That's the purple one, and we did it slightly different to this one here. And then there was the teeny tiny one here. Oh, have fun is upside down. Well, you could have fun upside down, I guess. And then there is the card here. So a few versions there. And yeah, those are the two main ones basically. Slightly different to one another, but there you go. Very pretty. I like the purple one. I think I want the purple one this way though. Yeah. So for the May workshop, like I was saying, you probably couldn't see anything at the just now. So we have a few samplers we're going to do with grid work, counted grid work, traditional parchment technique. And these are just some of the samplers I've prepared. Your element can be anything basically. I don't really mind what you decide you want to put, but we're going to focus on just the grid work. So there's 8 designs here, and I will give you the design, the grid work for the 8 designs. And then you've got a bonus card instruction of this, which basically has 4 of the designs out of the 8 used on this card. Yeah, so that's going to be your bonus PDF. So anyone interested, message me, email me. Email address is tinacoxcreativecoaching@gmail.com. And let's put this back on. Oh, don't fall, don't fall. Stay. I'm telling the embossing. I've put the Groovi embossing mat leaning against the phone, so it's blocking the sun from there. That's why it's darker, but at least you don't have the sun shadows, sun whatever on the screen at the moment. I hope you enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing what all of you create. Sorry, it wasn't very professional towards the end with the glue pen and everything. I just couldn't see, honestly, with the sun. And yes, definitely something I need to sort out before the next time. I will read on all the options some of you have posted up there. I saw it earlier on, and see what might work best to hide the sun a little bit during these sessions. Make it easier to do parchment, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And you're most welcome. Everyone who's saying thank you, you're most welcome. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what everyone does. Take care. Bye.